Ginny and Georgia Season 2 looms, but what do we expect to see in it? Well, if we can be honest here, Netflix has taken a lot of lumps as of late, and it's not pretty. They seem to be cutting a lot of projects, struggling in certain key areas, and so on. But take heart, there are some things to be thankful for, such as the series that we know are coming back and coming soon, like The Witcher, Cobra Kai, and Ginny and Georgia. And while we don't know what'll happen in Season 2 for that last one, we can make a few guesses. Number 9, Ginny and Georgia, Season 1 Recap. Ginny and Georgia very much could have been basic affair in terms of its style and story for Netflix, but they have absolutely done it before. Instead, showrunner Deborah J. Fisher and creator Sarah Lampert stuffed the series to the brim. Title characters cycle between love interests, varying degrees of deception, new friendships, a mayoral election, and even criminal activity, proving that sometimes you need to give a basic show a chance so you can see what it really has to offer. Ironically, viewers didn't seem to mind at all, mainly because it's a show that isn't like various others out there, and thus people wanted to see more. And given how things ended in Season 1, the desire for answers and to see the characters in action is more appealing. So while the show hasn't done record numbers in terms of viewing, it did go and enter the top 5 of popular shows in 2021 as a whole for a time. And that is why they renewed it for Season 2. That's what every fan wanted to hear, but now they want to hear what comes next. Well, thankfully, we do have a partial answer in regards to the ending of Season 1. Number 8, Runaway. Season 1 ended with everyone asking a major question. Did Ginny and Austin really run away? Just as important as that, where are they planning on going? Because obviously that would change the whole complexion of the second season. Thankfully, we do have one answer. In an interview with TV Line, they cleared up the confusion about where Ginny is going. When she's packing her bag, she grabs the book that Zion gives her. And if you were paying attention, when Zion arrives and is giving her the book, you know that he included an address. He has that secret coded message in it, and she finds out that it's his address to his Boston apartment. So I'm thinking it's pretty reasonable to assume that Ginny might be headed towards Zion. So of course they all said assume, and you all know what happens when you assume, right? And we wouldn't put it past this show to go and throw a worthy twist if it were to expand the plot. Number 7, Mang. For many fans, it was heartbreaking when Mang broke up over Ginny's big secret. On the night before Max's big play, she found out that her twin brother Marcus was hooking up with her new best friend Ginny. However, Ginny had never once mentioned anything about Marcus, and she was dating Hunter. Max felt betrayed, as you might expect, and things went south from there, as they always do. When she brought it up to the group, Ginny assumed it was Abby who told Max because she saw the two kiss privately. It was then that Max found out that Abby also knew about this secret. From then on, it was Max and Nora against everyone else. So, will Mang get back together? Well, it is unlikely that they'll do it full stop, especially with the situation with Ginny and Austin possibly heading to Boston. But the question is solid, and the plotline will no doubt be touched upon in some way. Yet how they do it is the question, and as these shows have proven in the past, they don't always do it with tact, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. Number 6, Georgia's Twisted Past. Ginny and Georgia could essentially be seen as a murder mystery because of Georgia's past with killing. It is assumed early on that Georgia killed her ex-husband Kenny by crushing up a poisonous flower in his morning smoothie. But as the series goes on, it looks like Georgia married an older man as a teenager in order to regain custody of Ginny when she was a toddler. Shockingly, in order to get out of that marriage, it looked like Georgia killed him as well by crushing up pills in his drink. With 2 dead ex-husbands behind her, will Paul find out his new fiance's past? Or just as important, will she have to find a reason to go and kill Paul? Georgia is absolutely a wild card, and with her children running away from her, you could argue that she's going to be more unhinged than ever. And nothing good happens when someone goes full-on unhinged in a show like this. Number 5, Gabriels Choice. When Kenny dies unexpectedly and Georgia flees the scene after his death with all of his money, Kenny's first wife assumes foul play is involved. She hires a private investigator, Gabriel, to look into Georgia Miller's life and pull up dirt from her past. Georgia always felt like someone was watching her when she moved to Wellsbury, and when she finally found out who Gabriel was and what he was doing, she kept him at an arm's length. By the end of the season, he found out that Georgia wasn't just married to Kenny, she was also married to another man who died unexpectedly. What will he come up with next? And just as important, what will that lead him to do? Will he just spill the beans to his client? Will he confront Georgia and try to get her to come clean about everything? There are a lot of ways that this could go, which obviously makes it exciting. It also makes it hard to wait and see what happens. Number 4. Moving? Georgia has moved around her entire life, and that didn't stop when she had kids. If anything, she moved around more when she had children to run away from her demons. When the family moved from the South to New England, it was an eye-opening transition, but a welcomed one. Ginny and Austin judged Wellsbury but ended up falling in love with it. Sadly, Ginny and Austin's lives fall apart as Georgia's is getting better, and then it begs the question, will the Millers move yet again? We already know 2 of the family are gone and heading somewhere, and though it's very likely that they'll have to reconnect with their mother, what happens after that is very much up in the air. So their current location is very much in flux, and that's likely what the show wants, that level of unpredictability. Number 3. Ellen's role. Ellen was Georgia's first friend in Wellsbury. She was her neighbor, her friend, and the mother of Ginny's best friend. Ellen was Georgia's only ally. But when Ellen found out that her son was sleeping with Georgia's daughter, things got tense. Especially when Georgia wasn't shocked when she was told it was happening. Knowing that Georgia had this kind of information and didn't tell her about it made Ellen angry. Could that mean that Georgia has another person to watch out for in season 2? And if she feels threatened, what will she do? Number 2. Joe and Georgia. In a series of flashbacks, viewers find out that Georgia and Joe actually knew each other. When Georgia was on the run as a teenager, she ran into Joe at a truck stop. Joe was on a school trip and was eating a sandwich on a picnic table. He saw a lonely Georgia standing there and offered half of his sandwich to her. They had a sweet conversation and appeared to have an instant connection. Georgia told Ginny it was the nicest someone had ever been to her. When they moved to Wellsbury, it became obvious that Joe, the cafe owner, was the same Joe that Georgia met as a teen. Joe had clear feelings for Georgia, but every time he tried to act on it, he was interrupted. So will that change in season 2? Number 1. How it all unfolds. As we have proposed to you, there are many ways that this could all go down. With all of these characters and their interweaving stories, things could go a myriad of ways, and as such, it's hard to know how it'll all fall. But with the team behind the scenes working on it, it might just be something special when it finally arrives on Netflix. So, what do you think? What do you think of this look at Ginny and Georgia Season 2 and what might just go down in it? Are you excited to see the plot points of Season 1 fulfilled or expanded upon when the new episodes debut? When do you think the show will return to Netflix? Let us know in the comments below, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.